You walk into a room feeling calm, but minutes later your chest feels tight. Your mood shifts, and you don't know why. This isn't imagination. Something invisible just passed through you, and neuroscience explains exactly how. Most people think emotions belong only to the person feeling them, but your brain was never designed to be sealed. From the moment you evolved as a social creature, your nervous system learned to sync with others for survival. This syncing system is powerful, automatic, and mostly unconscious. It allows connection, trust, and empathy. But it also makes you vulnerable to absorbing stress, fear, anger, and sadness that never originated inside you. At the center of this phenomenon is a group of brain cells called mirror neurons. They don't just observe reality, they simulate it. When you watch someone experience emotion, your brain partially experiences it too. Mirror neurons fire when you perform an action, and they fire again when you watch someone else perform that same action. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between me and them at the neural level. This is why yawns spread across rooms, smiles feel contagious, and anxiety can flood you after a single tense conversation. Your nervous system mirrors before your conscious mind has time to intervene. Now combine mirror neurons with emotional contagion. Emotional contagion is the process by which emotions spread from one nervous system to another without words, intention, or awareness. Humans constantly exchange emotional data through facial microexpressions, posture, tone, breathing rhythms, and subtle muscle tension. Your brain reads these signals faster than conscious thought can process language. When someone near you is stressed, their body emits cues of threat. Your mirror neuron system detects them instantly and activates your own stress response, even if nothing threatening is actually happening to you. This happens because your brain prioritizes social survival over logical accuracy. In evolutionary terms, feeling what the group feels kept you alive. Isolation or emotional blindness meant death. For most people, this system activates mildly. But for highly sensitive people, or HSPs, this mechanism is amplified. Their nervous systems process sensory and emotional input more deeply and more intensely. HSPs don't just notice emotions, their brains register them more strongly. Brain imaging studies show increased activation in regions associated with empathy, awareness, and emotional processing. This means an HSP doesn't observe pain or anxiety. Their brain partially recreates it. Their body reacts as if the emotion is happening internally, even when it belongs to someone else. This is why some people feel drained after social interactions, crowded spaces, or emotionally charged environments. Their nervous system never stopped mirroring, and it never learned how to disengage. Emotional contagion becomes dangerous when you believe every emotion you feel is yours. Over time, this leads to chronic anxiety, emotional exhaustion, and confusion about personal identity. The brain is not asking for permission when this happens. Mirror neurons operate below conscious awareness. They activate before logic, before judgment, and before self-protection. This explains why toxic people feel heavy to be around. Their emotional state leaks outward, and your nervous system absorbs it like a sponge, especially if you are empathetic or sensitive. Dark psychology enters when this system is exploited. Some individuals, unconsciously or deliberately, offload their emotional burden onto others. Using proximity, tone, and emotional intensity to regulate themselves through you, they calm down because you become dysregulated. Your nervous system absorbs what they cannot hold, creating an unspoken emotional transaction that leaves you depleted and them relieved. Understanding this changes everything. You are not weak. You are not imagining it. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do, but in a modern world filled with constant emotional overload, the key is not shutting down empathy. That would damage connection and emotional intelligence. The goal is learning regulation and boundaries at the nervous system level. First, awareness is protection. The moment you notice a sudden emotional shift, ask a simple question. Was I feeling this 5 minutes ago? This interrupts automatic identification with borrowed emotions. Second, regulate your body, not your thoughts. Emotional contagion enters through the nervous system. Slow breathing, relaxing the jaw, lowering shoulders, and grounding your feet signal safety to the brain. Third, visualize separation. Your brain responds to imagery almost as strongly as reality. Picture a boundary between you and others, allowing understanding without absorption. Fourth, limit exposure to chronically dysregulated people. Repeated emotional contagion rewires your baseline stress levels. Distance is not cruelty. It is neurological hygiene. Fifth, strengthen your internal emotional reference point. Spend time alone recalibrating your nervous system so you can recognize what your emotional baseline actually feels like. HSPs often confuse intensity with truth. Just because an emotion feels strong does not mean it belongs to you or reflects reality. The brain amplifies mirrored signals without context. This is why emotional detox, after social exposure, is crucial. Silence, nature, music, and solitude allow the mirror neuron system to quiet down and reset. There is power hidden inside this sensitivity. The same system that drains you also allows deep intuition, emotional intelligence, and psychological insight when properly managed. Dark psychology is not about manipulation alone. It is about understanding hidden forces that shape human behavior beneath awareness. Emotional contagion is one of the most powerful forces of all. Once you see it, you can no longer be unconsciously controlled by it. You stop absorbing chaos and start choosing connection consciously, strategically, and safely. Empathy without boundaries is self-destruction. Boundaries without empathy are isolation. Mastery lies in holding both at once. Your brain will always mirror. That cannot be removed. But you can decide what you allow to stay, what you release, and what never enters in the first place. When you stop mistaking other people's emotions for your own, your mind becomes quieter, your energy stabilizes, and your identity strengthens. This is not emotional coldness. This is emotional sovereignty. And once you reclaim it, no room, no person, and no hidden psychological current can pull you out of yourself again.